Hey guys, what's up? This is Mel, and I'm here to talk about the Vampire Diaries, episode 714, titled Moonlight on the Bayou, which premiered Friday, February 26, 2016 on the CW. And guys, this is the part 1 of the crossover event with the original, so let's get started with let's do 15 minutes this time. Lots to talk about, so let's go. So what is something new that we learned in this episode? So this time the episode started off with the 3 years from now flash forward, and we see Caroline in New Orleans with the twins, and this is when she learns that Klaus hasn't been seen in 3 years. So a lot of us hoped that we would see the two of them on screen together in this flash forward, but this only worries me even more because of the fact that I was hoping that if we saw Klaus in 3 years from now, and then he's safe from the prophecy. Turns out that's not the case, and apparently Caroline is completely unaware from the looks of it. So moving on to the present day, though, for Stefan, we see him on the run from Reyna, with help from Valerie, who leads him to New Orleans, where there is a bar that disables all magic. Original fans know this as the Algiers safe house, created to stop Dahlia from tracking Hope down. So when Stefan's in town, he runs into Klaus, fills him in on what's happening, Reyna, Caroline's pregnancy, the heretics, all that stuff. And we also get a phone call between Klaus and Caroline. Caroline was trying to call Stefan. Klaus picked up Stefan's forgotten phone. And this call, as many Caroline fans wanted, is actually what makes Klaus rethink saving Stefan from Reyna. So that's a whole bunch of stuff that happened in New Orleans. On the other side, I think it's in Mystic Falls still, or at least in Whitmore or something, but Damon and Bonnie go to Enzo and this place called the Armory for a way to stop Reyna, which Valerie tells them is not a good idea because the Armory tried to use Bo to reel in Reyna, only for it to be a trap. So instead, Damon gets himself locked up with a comatose Tyler, and since it's a full moon, he's in a bit of trouble with Tyler being a werewolf and all. So Damon's not going to be let out of that cell with Tyler until he gives up Stefan's location, which he won't do. Things get a little bit rough, I should say, and Bonnie ends up severely injured, and Damon's blood isn't working, so he has to take her to the hospital. And through that whole worry, Damon comes to the conclusion that he is going to take himself out of the equations to protect the people that are always risking their lives to save him, after a few words that Tyler said. Also with the Armory, though, Enzo learns that his father founded the place, or the organization, and that he has family in this woman named Alex, who turns out to be the leader. Not sure if I believe that or not, but we'll see where that goes. Also with the Armory, they managed to capture Mary Louise and Nora, who were trying to be on the run from Reyna, although I don't know why, since I don't believe any of them were marked by her sword. So anyways, now they are in the hands of the Armory. And also, on a little side note, we do get a little road trip between Alaric and Caroline to Dallas after Caroline convinces Alaric to let her tag along so that she can help him with the newborn twins traveling such a far distance. Turns out to be an interesting bonding experience for the two of them. So moving on to the most shocking moment of the episode, I'd have to say it has to be Klaus's fear towards Reyna Cruz. You wouldn't expect Klaus, with the reputation that he has and the way he views his enemies, you wouldn't expect him to be as afraid he was of her, so I thought that was pretty surprising in itself, because when we found out that Stefan was marked by the Phoenix sword, he immediately wanted Stefan to leave and get out of New Orleans before Reyna came and found him there and terrorized the city like she did before. So that was pretty surprising in itself. So moving forward, top 3 favorite moments of the episode. First one has to be Damon and Bonnie. Right when Damon is stuck in that cell with Tyler and Bonnie can't find a way to get him out, Damon tells her initially to leave him behind and go save herself. Bonnie refuses. She repeatedly refuses, and very passionately too, and I gotta say, I like that. Damon and Bonnie have come a long way in their friendship. They truly are the best buds between each other, and I'm actually liking that. And then when Damon was by Bonnie's bedside when she was in the hospital, and that whole speech he made about her and how her death would have affected him, that it doesn't seem to cross his mind in that moment that Bonnie dying meant he'd get Elena back. All he was focused on was the fact that he was going to lose his best friend if she died. And I liked those words. I liked that bond that has formed between them. I'm definitely, I don't even know what else to say. It's really good. I definitely have to go look it up on the internet again. But moving on to the second favorite moment, it has to be Klaus being in the crossover episode. He hasn't been in a Vampire Diaries episode since the 100th episode back in season 5. So it's great to see his interactions with Stefan in New Orleans and with Caroline in the phone call. And it was great to see the different dynamics he had, especially with Stefan, who is his old friend from the 1920s, and then with Caroline, who he claimed to be in love with her and who he wants to be her last love with. So it's just great to see all that, how he came to be with their interactions. And another final favorite moment has to be Alaric and Caroline. I'm excited to see their friendship grow into something more. I'm excited to see how it is they get to being engaged 3 years from now. So I'm definitely excited that this is going to be the first step. They're going to be bonding over shared parenthood responsibility. So I just can't wait for that. So top 3 peeved moments. First one actually has to be that Enzo was about to leave the armory, and I was all for that. I was so excited for it, only for him to be sucked back in, and that is what irritated me. It's like he almost left, and yet that Alex lady just reeled him right back in, and who knows if she's even telling the truth at all. I mean, I don't think he can actually perform like some DNA blood typing thing since he's a vampire or not. But there's that. Another peeved moment was the fact that Klaus's fate in 3 years is unknown. All we know is that he's gone. Gone can mean that he left the city. Gone can mean that he's dead. Gone can mean so much things, but the fact that we don't know any more about his fate in 3 years means that we have no idea if he survives the prophecy or not, especially after what happens in part 2, which I'll talk about in the originals episode of this. But yeah, so I was kind of hoping to use that flashback as kind of like ease how I felt about what was happening back on the originals, but they didn't do anything. So what I remember most about this episode when I look back on it, the fact that it was a crossover episode, the fact that we got to see Stefan in New Orleans and talking with people. Well, I guess you only talk Klaus, but we'll go check out part 2 about Stefan's interactions with all of them. That was pretty cool too. So random questions. First one, was that Klaus and Caroline phone call meant as a goodbye? I got the impression that Klaus was giving a final goodbye to her, as if like he realized that her wanting to have this family with the twins is something he can't be a part of, or something he wasn't going to take away from her, and he was going to be taking it away from her if she ended up being with him. So I felt like it was a goodbye. I'm wondering if anyone else felt that way at all. Let me know in the comments below for your own thoughts about that. I know Caroline fans were very excited that they even got an interaction like this between them. So there's that. Next question. Klaus easily killed Reina in this episode, but it doesn't look like that will last for long. It doesn't really when you go back to part 2. But what will kill her permanently? I still think you gotta destroy the sword before killing her is gonna stick. But I wonder if anyone else tried that, or if no one just thought of it. I really hope someone did, otherwise that's just going to be disappointing. But next question again, though, why didn't Klaus or Stefan take the Phoenix sword away from Reina when she was dead? Essentially, Reina can only track those with the Phoenix mark because she has the sword in her possessions. So if you separated her from her sword, then Stefan should have been safe to go back and not be tracked from her. Or why didn't they separate the Phoenix sword from Reina and then separate the sword from the stone? Instead, they left because they were in werewolf territory on a full moon. But I'm just wondering, why did they not mention that? Why didn't it come up? And it's just, that's really bugging me too. So last question. If Tyler is connected to the armory, then what about Jeremy? Where is he? We have not heard anything about Jeremy. We have not even heard any references, and I'm kind of worried. I really hope that he's not dead somewhere, or that he's off doing something by himself with no backup, but it seems like he's definitely not with Tyler anymore when they originally left episode 622 together, so I'm a little worried there about the little Gobert. And moving on to predictions, though, based off the promo for episode 715, we see Damon planning to lock himself in a coffin until Elena is awake because he's putting his friends in danger without Elena being there to anchor him down into being the good brother, as he calls it. If this makes sense, because in the flash forward in the season 7 premiere, we see Damon waking up in a coffin 3 years from now. I really hope that this isn't the moment he locks himself away, because then what are we going to do for the rest of the third half of the season? I mean, there's like, what, 7 episodes left, including this one? So if Damon locks himself in a coffin now, what are we going to do? Like, is he really just going to take himself with the equation that easily? I hope not. But based off the synopsis for the episode, it seems like Damon plans to eliminate Raina for good before taking himself out and putting him in the coffin. It seems that Bonnie learned something about Raina at the armory that could stop Damon's plans. It seems that Matt is trying to take a stand against vampires, which I'm irritated about, especially with this character in general, but I'll move on from that. And then it seems like the future of Stefan and Caroline is going to be decided in some way or form, and I think for overall prediction that Stefan is going to let Caroline go. And I'm not going to think that because of the flash forward we see that happen, but because in the promo it kind of shows Stefan seeing Caroline happy with the twins, and it seems that that might be his deciding factor, that he doesn't deserve that type of happiness with her, or he doesn't want to take it away from her or something like that. So it seems like that might be the moment when they split off. So there's that. And that's about it. So what did you guys think of the episode? Did you like what happened? Were you excited for this crossover event? Let me know in the comments below. Love to hear about it. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and check out my other videos if you haven't done so already. Also, if you want a more detailed recap of the episode, a play-by-play, if you will, check out my live journal account. Link for that will be down below. It includes my in-thought observations and questions that I have while watching the episode for the first time. Also, if you want to check out my Tumblr page, the links for those will be down below as well. I usually reblog promos, web clips, sneak peeks, episode synopses, episode stills, episode gifs, quotes, all that, as well as some casting news. And links for those will be down below, whether it's Vampire Diaries as a whole or for this episode specifically. And that's about it. So thank you guys for watching. I truly appreciate it. I'm so sorry for the delay in the videos. Real life got in the way and I'm trying to catch up. Yeah, so everything should be back to normal next week, and I hope you do come back to see what I have to say about episode 715. Also, if you want to know what I thought about part 2 of this crossover event, check out the originals video I'm going to post immediately after this one for episode 314, where you're going to get my thoughts on part 2 of this episode. So, that's about it. Hope you guys come back next week to see what I have to say, and this is Mel, wishing you a great day, great week, and enjoy the rest of the day. Bye, everyone.